But without any further delay, let's get it going. So, Mark, if you're on, why don't you start us up with this concert? All right. How about a round of applause for that concert? Fantastic. Really lovely. Just lovely. Kirsten, what's the name of your puppy?
That is Tito. And
Tito.
this is
Did Tito?
Juniper.
Okay. So is Tito the one that really dug Ollie Wilson's piece with those high pitches?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Anytime there were any high-pitched glissandi or any good things like that, he'd be like, "What's going on?"
Right. Awesome. Um, well, I just want to just begin by saying, unfortunately, due to a time change, Zarinya wasn't able to make this concert. So the time difference was just simply too great. So Kay reached out to her with a comment and a question, and then she provided an answer that I'll read to you. So Kay wrote to her and said, I think it's really deep and sentimental to connect a point of departure and return as memory and reflection. Could you tell us how you use music to represent this idea? And Zorinya's response was, I use the voice as a form of connection within the piece, as a thread that joins the sensations that appear at various moments, not only with the words and the sounds, I'm sorry, not only with the words and the sounds that are derived from them, but also with the sound environment in which they appear and the feelings that they suggest. So that was a little bit of feedback from Zarinya on her piece. Uh, Ted, your piece was on second. I wanted to, I so curious. I remember watching this when it came in, and uh, the guy played that hit the guitar. Was he told not to smile? I'm not sure. It was such a wonderful piece. Your timing of everything just seemed spot on. And I may be incorrect in my assumption, but from your program notes, I infer that this was the first time that you've done this type of collaboration. I wonder perhaps if you could talk a bit about maybe some of the unexpected challenges, or maybe there were some unexpected successes of this virtual collaboration.
Sure. So the guys, they asked me to do something with them in the early weeks of the pandemic. They wanted to do something that was collaborative and would keep them sort of, in communication with composers. And they wanted to do something that would be short and fun and could live on the internet and sort of be a thing for people to watch, back in March and April. And so yeah, we made it remotely, and I just told them, I think I'm gonna sequence into some groovy beats. It's sort of just like a fun short thing. Just record yourself hitting some stuff, and I'll figure out what to do later. And then they took it upon themselves to make a nice variety of sounds and sort of variety of scenes. And Cullen did his stone face thing that was funny, and so that sort of was an interesting surprise for me to find. And so that, combined with the fact that it's these sequenced things, these isolated repeated video clips, sort of is funny or something. And so I just leaned into that and just decided, well, I'll just make it that sort of a thing for 90 seconds. It'll be a fun little jam.
I just gotta say, I thought the facial expressions on the players were priceless. That's what sort of kept drawing me in. I mean, the guy playing the ratchet, I just thought it was great. And I have to ask, how many views did it get?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It's on their Vimeo page. There's probably a counter there.
I'm just curious.
There was some, at least 100 maybe. I remember they were excited about that. But I don't know.
Well, it's just a wonderfully fun piece. I personally, I really enjoyed it, and I see some comments in the chat about it. Keith says that it reminds him a little bit of Jacob Collier videos. So very cool. Kyung-mi, I see you're here. Hello.
Yes, hi.
So good to see you again.
Good to see you, and thank you so much for organizing this wonderful event.
Kyung-mi, this is such what a tender work, and just a wonderful tribute to your father and your relationship with him. I believe he passed away in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow, yeah, great memory, Mike.
I just know it's such a meaningful work that I think is just a really wonderful tribute. So
Thank you.
congratulations on writing
Thank you
such
so
a
much.
wonderful piece. Now, I know you primarily as a composer, but however, you're also a poet and you're a painter. You probably have other artistic talents that I don't know about. And I also happen to know that you're an exceptional pedagogue, that you're a great composition teacher. And I just wonder how all of these talents, how all of these talents influence how you approach doing audiovisual works like this. The other piece that this reminds me of is the piece that you wrote for Sandy Hook, and that incorporated your visual artistic abilities and your poetry. And so I just thought maybe you could just chat a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you so much. I really am grateful for me to be able to share this piece. So I guess the visual element is something that I've been always interested in. I have a great passion for. So I just thought it as a hobby at first, but then, gradually I starting to explore time more. And then when the electronic music requires, or sometimes I feel it needs some more of medium, that I starting to work together. And these days, a lot of audiovisual works are, happening. But for me, what makes more sense is the dialogue between image and the audio. And so sometimes they supplement or sometimes they go against, but I just do not think them separately when I work. I just think them as a kind of one medium. So when there is a sound comes in, whether visual can support sound or visual image needs some silence, then sound can go away. I just compose as a whole thing, not necessarily adding to it, if that makes sense.
That's beautiful. Really interesting. Really interesting. And Kirsten and Alexander, nice to meet you, Alexander. Your piece I thought was a great piece to end our festival on. So congratulations and thank you to Kay for the programming. I thought it was, although there were some common threads, throughout this concert. Certainly the element of loss that we saw in Murmurations a bit. But my question really, it's kind of comes from Kay, is Kirsten, is what came first, the music or the video? And, or was this more of a back and forth process as you were putting this together?
Well, I actually wrote this piece in 2018 as a wedding gift for my partner, Jacob, who is a multimedia composer as well, but he grew up as a jazz bass player. And I kind of just wanted to write a piece for both of us to play that would show him off and kind of draw upon influences that I feel like I've always loved, or things, just something that was purely joyful. So the bass line's actually Bjork's All Is Full of Love, just cycling back on itself. And there are ridiculous waves of texture and rhythms moving around to sort of build that texture of these birds. My husband also really loves birds. So that idea was driving my thoughts. And then when my father passed away unexpectedly while I was writing it, it sort of took a turn and became kind of a piece for him too, while I was processing all of that. And so, I was going to present this right when everything was shut down in a live performance. And I could have chosen to record or use an old live performance we have a recording of, or record a new one. But I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to ask Alex, who I've worked with a couple times, to create a new video, because I really love the work he's doing. And I mean, I don't even know. He just kind of, I think we have known each other for a long time, but he pretty much hit it out of the park. So I'll let him tell you a little bit about what it was like on his end.
And just FYI, I mean, this is the piece you guys did in 2018 at EMM, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, without the video. So the
Yep.
music definitely came first.
Yep.
Right. All right. Yeah, Alexander, you want to talk a little bit about the video and that process of taking an existing piece and fitting it with your video.
Yeah. So it was having the piece exist already. It worked really well for me because a lot of times I have difficulty like settling on ideas, like figuring out, oh, what do I want to make something about, and something like Murmurations, which came with a totally rich set of ideas to work with in the first place, and it was just like almost overwhelming. But I was like, okay, we have a lot of thematic ideas to work with, and then one thing that I also really appreciated is that you get like this really interesting structure to then base a narrative on, that I think pushed me in directions that if I was just coming up with a video from scratch, I don't know, I'd come up with something very different. And this, I think, made it a lot more interesting, because it had the tight, cohesive logic that came from Kirsten. And so then once you have that, for me, it's very easy to be like, oh yeah, just put a fun video on top of it.
Well, it was amazing. It was a great piece to end the festival on. And with that, I'd like to welcome back Keha, who's going to close us out and let us know about where to get your drink on. Kay, are you there?
Yes, I am. Congratulations to all the composers, visual artists, and the performers. And thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy the festival. Before I let you all get to party virtually, I want to express my gratitude to people who have supported us and believed in us. I want to say thank you so much to the College of Fine Arts Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and also Fred Fox School of Music for your strong support. And thank you for helping us to promote equality in art and technology. Thank you to Pima Air and Space Museum, St. Mark's Presbyterian Church, and also Tucson Botanical Gardens for allowing us filming the music videos on site. I also want to say thank you to all the composers and visual artists. Without your creative works, the world would not be so colorful. I want to say thank you to our amazing performers. Thank you for devoting your time and talent to advocate new music, new media in this very difficult time. I also want to say thank you to our co-director, Mike McFerrin and Mark Webster. This festival would not happen without your hard work. And last but not least, I want to say thank you all. Being our audience here today, without you and your support, there would not be a stage for us at all. Thank you.